Check 1, 2.
There we go. Here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My little Nixie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm swell. What's on your mind?
Why do you sound like you're going to talk about the old mother road?
On that old mother road. That old mother road. That concrete slab.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start about Donald Trump's friend Natalie and how John Ossoff, who's not anybody.
How now the left, who was really upset about Mike Pence and his Mike Pence rule of not being around women coworkers alone, that same left is now convinced that anytime a woman travels with their boss, they must be hooking up. Although now they're playing really dumb and coy. And I know you'll play the Ossoff cut in a second, but they're saying, and this is true, he didn't actually say she was sleeping with Trump.
Well, but it's like it's this weird workshopped strategy of, guys, we're going to do this in this new way. Yeah, and the fact is that they can't get out of, we need to learn how to dunk. Trump showed them how to dunk. We need to learn how to dunk. And it's not really dunking. It's effing people acting unhinged, in people acting unlike themselves, unlike their real selves, and being crude and disgusting, bottom-feeding pieces of crap out of desperation because they're trying to have something catch on. And I don't get it. It's a freaking off year. They're probably going to do well. But this is brand building for Ossoff, who's running for president, right? So
they're all running for president.
Now they're all like, he's taking the place of
every
Swalwell, being like, who was doing this thing where he'd be walking and somebody would say, "Hey, ever hear how Trump is an F-head?" He'd be like, "Yeah, the heck he sure is." What?
Every governor, senator, congressman, and candidate or former one of those positions is running for president in the United States right now, on both sides of the aisle, and it's super draining. But yes, go ahead and play Ossoff the other day.
And while the sailors on the Lincoln fight his war, he fruitlessly drains...
Wait, can I rewind here?
Mm-hmm.
And while the sailors on the Lincoln fight...
Sorry, the what?
The sailors on...
No, I understand. Listen.
And while the sailers on the Lincoln
the list?
See, Evan McKay? What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with all of them?
There is a study that when they gave moderate Democrat men testosterone, they became 41% more Republican or something.
I don't know, Alice. But if I said sailors when I talked about guys who were on boats, it would be a thing, I assure you.
And while the sailors on the Lincoln fight his war, while he fruitlessly drains our munitions and oil reserves,
this guy can't be president
through his meetings.
He's so popular.
He golfs.
That's what I'm told.
And trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar.
So, once again, this is,
So Natalie who again?
Natalie, I forgot her last name. I had to look it up.
Yeah.
Because I'd never
You've
freaking
probably
heard
seen
of her.
She was kind of big a few years ago.
She's an assistant, Natalie Harp.
She's
an assistant to the president.
Right. And she was in the food cart with him, and Rubio wasn't. So they're trying to make a thing out of that he took her and... Wow, that dog.
And you can tell by the audience reaction exactly what's going on here.
Sure.
There is a rumor on the left, and this is a whole thing that's engineered by the Pod Save Bros and a bunch of people on the left,
where
they're trying to make this a thing
Lincoln
that Trump's
Project,
sleeping with her.
Midas Touch.
And so they're like, "Oh, whoa, he went there," and you can hear by the crowd's reaction that they're picking up what he's putting down here, obviously. But now they're playing coy and being like, why did all the Republicans' minds jump immediately to he's sleeping with her? Ossoff didn't say that. We get what you're implying, dude. It reminds me of do you remember in the Obama campaign, the original one? And it had the you can put lipstick on a pig
Yep.
line, and
Palin.
because Palin had used a line about, what was it, about hockey moms and lipstick
Or something, yeah.
There was some line, so it was like clearly a reference. He was calling her a pig, but people were like, he didn't say that. But like you could tell by the reaction when he read the line in speeches that people absolutely knew exactly what he's implying. And it's the same thing here. The crowd's whooping and hollering because he's referencing their made up Blue Anon Lincoln Project conspiracy theory about Trump sleeping with people. It's like if he said something about Stormy Daniels or whatever,
Right.
or whatever Russian oligarch, the Russian lawyer that they met in Trump Tower. It's like he's referencing their made up world of pretend things that they believe. So they're getting the reference to this Natalie person that nobody on the right has paid any attention to whatsoever, because there's really no allegations that they're sleeping together.
No,
at all.
this is trying to build popularity in a movement out of Colbert punchlines.
Right.
And like, whether it's the tan suit or Trump having more ice cream than everybody else. He's pathetic, you see?
But I also just don't get it, because it's like, do they really think that at this point, what's going to finally take Trump down is going to be allegations that Donald Trump has been unfaithful in a marriage?
No.
Like, what? Like, have you just arrived on planet Earth this week?
Well, no, but you know what? It's so funny you say it, because this is... who's the Velociraptor head? It's that foul-mouthed, old-looking thing.
Yeah, Jennifer.
Jennifer, whatever. That's what this is. Oh, and Melania effing hates him. She doesn't want to sleep. Like, they're already going to what they assume is like their dirty, ugly premises, that they already have. Oh, because he's got a tiny dick, and she hates him. And he's disgusting. His stupid hair, because he's got a Cheeto juice everywhere. It's and it's all just service for themselves. It's so that they can feel good about saying something. Taco, see, and then when he doesn't taco last summer, they're like, okay, we don't say it now. Oh, see, taco again. Why are we in a stupid war with Iran? Trump then goes to negotiate. Like, oh, taco. Okay.
It's draining, because it's like arguing with children.
And now what they've started now is, of course, Trump's going to respond to this, which of course he does. And let me see. Let me find it here. I've got it in here a couple times, I think. And Trump in the White House today is...
But it's also gross to imply, and like, I don't care if he said it outright or not. He knew what he was saying when it was written into the speech. You could tell the audience knew what he was saying. It's also just gross to imply that any professional woman who works around Trump is sleeping with him.
Well, yeah, she's also, by the way, had health problems. She had a cancer scare. It's like she's trying to have a normal life somewhere. Here's Trump being asked about her. How about this?
Yesterday, John Ossoff said you'd rather travel with your aide, Natalie Harp, and build the ballroom than do your job as president. What is your response, John Ossoff?
You mean Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman lookalike? No, I would much rather do other things. We're building a great facility here. We're fixing a White House that hasn't been taken care of. You can look at this. This room was a disgraceful situation, the Oval Office.
There's a longer one, because he goes after the reporter. And then the left is now saying they're angry because 47 response went after the reporter. And that, like, Chuck Todd is like, how dare this anonymous account attack a working journalist lady just trying to do her job. Like,
meanwhile, the British government is like legitimately trying to crack down on left-wing newspapers, by the way, for reporting on Jason Arday. Did you see there was a vigil with like tens of thousands of people for Jason Arday? And they're like demanding action be taken against the media for reporting on it.
No.
Which, by the way, everyone should go read this Substack. I won't bore you guys all by reading another Jason Arday article, but like the best piece on Jason Arday has now been written, which is on Sam Chris's Substack, and it is entitled where is it? The Carrion Eaters, What We Did to Jason Arday. And it's overall kind of flattering to Jason Arday in a way, but basically, it's, to read you a couple quotes, this is not to say everything's fine at universities. It's all massively and comprehensively effed on a scale you can't comprehend. If only they'd hired him because of the woke mind virus and PC gone mad, there would be a solution. Blah, blah, blah. But he basically says, I'm not saying Cambridge was wrong to hire him. Who else should have got the job? A serious, studious, non-plagiarist? The kind of mental eunuch that's genuinely committed to the practice of writing BS papers no one will ever read. Our day clearly deserved it more. For all the ways he was the same as everyone else in academia, he was also unfathomably different. Imagine you've spent your life digging around in the airless burrows of some shabby third-tier department when suddenly a person like Jason Arday appears.
This is not an actual defense.
It's not an actual defense, but it's essentially saying like
No,
all
but
of this is BS.
Is this not satire?
No, it's.
Jesus.
I don't think it is. I think he's saying basically like all these departments are useless. They're churning out thousands and thousands of very serious academic papers every year that no one will read. Like
it reminds me of the fight our two kids just had.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we're not. Like, we're upset about the academic standards and integrity of this department where they're all writing BS and doing BS studies and, like, very serious about their academic work and their made-up disciplines. And, like, they're, like, basically he's saying all these people suck. And at least, like, if you're going to give the job to somebody, give it to somebody who's, like decided to just go whole hog.
Yeah,
he's conquered every disease known to man. He's run 9 marathons on a broken leg.
If
like
this is
he's
what
done
college
everything.
Do, I'm absolutely for that. Here's Trump yelling at somebody in the Oval Office. It's this chick. I forgot who it is. But he's trying to talk to the lifeguard who saved the other kid.
I love the lifeguard thing. Do you have the thing where he says he has good genetics? They're all upset about that.
Hold on.
Okay.
Quiet. You're very disrespectful in front of this young man. Okay? Don't you find her disrespectful? He understands. Quiet. Who are you with?
I'm with CNN.
Fake news.
I
You're
just wanted
fake
to follow
news.
up on this out-
You're loud. You're a loud, boisterous person. You're fake news.
I was
Be
trying to
quiet.
find out if
Be
you had
quiet.
been talking
Be
to
quiet.
Freedom, if he had asked you
You're a
to
fake
bail out
reporter, and you
all the
report fake
military
news.
exercises.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, is there enough food on the USS Lincoln?
Yeah, it is. That was a CNN fake report.
Yeah, the CNN thing about the Abraham Lincoln is all bull crap too. Okay, let me find it. I do have that somewhere.
Yeah, it's great. I love Trump. There's a few things. So he had, I don't know if people saw this video of this, 15-year-old, 16-year-old lifeguard pulling this kid out of the ocean. Incredible video. And Trump talks about it. He says he wouldn't have been brave enough to do it. And he says that, and he's like, you're glad it wasn't me out there, basically. And then he says that he tells the kid's mom that you can tell the kid has great genes, which obviously the left is all upset about because we're back to like the Sydney Sweeney has great genes thing, where they read this stuff into everything, where it's all about the
White
eugenics thing.
And it's an honor to be with Ryder Williams, who is a 16-year-old lifeguard, California. And he saved this young gentleman who I had a long talk with. I said, would you have made it without him? And he said, not really, right? Not really. It was trouble. So you're going to have a long and beautiful life. Honored to have all of you. And again, what you did was incredible. And everybody saw it. And you'd watch it over and over. I know when I first saw it, I said, roll that back. I want to see that again. Is that really happening? And both of you people have to be very proud. The whole group is proud. And your father is the happiest man in the world.
It's incredible what Ryder did. I'm just beyond great.
Oh, maybe I don't have that where I thought I would have. Let me see.
But yeah, it's funny that the left always has to go there because I think it's like a fairly normal thing to say to a parent.
Well, the worst
like,
thing
I can tell you raised a great son or something to the parent because the kid did something, I mean, genuinely heroic that this kid did.
Oh, yeah, but they can't stand him having a good moment.
Yeah, no, they can't.
It's the worst thing that they can have is like a good moment where they don't get to step on it at all. Let me see if I can find here something. He's yelling at a lot of people. Hold on.
And this is a great story. And it's an honor to be with Ryder Williams, who is a 16-year-old lifeguard, California, the Santa Cruz area. And I understand he was a winner right from the time they first saw him as a lifeguard. There's a lot of training, a lot of work. And he saved this young gentleman who I had a long talk with. I said, would you have made it without him? And you said, not really, it was trouble. Yeah. So you're going to have a long and beautiful life.
Thank you.
And I just thought we were all watching, everybody watched, and got a lot of publicity because of the ferocity of the waves. I've never seen waves. I mean, that was sort of violent. We were just discussing, and at certain times of the year, mostly like right around now, the waves get very rough.
I mean, it's,
I can try and find it for us too. But yeah, no, it just bothers them so much. Like, can you imagine being so deranged that you can't be happy that a lifeguard saved a kid's life in the ocean? Like, that you watch a heroic video like that and you don't have a swell of happy emotion. You have like I just hate Trump
Shannon
so
Williams,
much.
that's the mom. So you did a good job. It's good genetics. When you look at him, you can see really good.
well, you know what? You know why they hate that too.
Because he's like blonde.
No, because Shannon Williams is a looker.
Oh.
The mom is.
So he's really commenting on the mom's
yes,
looks
you
is
see her
what's
up there?
going on there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, but the kid wants to be a firefighter. It's a great story.
Yeah, it's a great story. It was really impressive.
If you can't let Trump allow you to enjoy that story, like just a happy human interest story, then you have a mental problem.
Yeah.
It's like,
did we play the Trump talking about Ossoff?
Yeah.
Oh, we did. Okay. Pee Wee Herman.
Yes.
We played it.
We played that.
What the hell was
Yes,
that?
indeed we did. Indeed we did.
Okay, let me go up here.
What am I allowed to talk?
Yeah,
Are
please.
You, well, but I can't pick a new topic. Or are you
Yeah,
looking
can.
for
I'm-
something specific?
No.
You're just hanging out.
I
Okay.
like the Dean Withers thing. I really want it to be true.
I don't know that I've seen the Dean Withers thing actually reported anywhere real, or if I'm just seeing people say it on Twitter. Like, there's no source for it as far as I can tell.
Okay. I want it to
So
be true.
I don't know. But I don't know. The thing that like within Conserva world is happening is and I've been talking about this with other people just in my personal life for a while now. But the thing that's happening is everybody's decided to focus on the Lindsay Clancy trial. Mm-hmm. Have you been following this at all?
I know a little bit what's going on. I don't want to get into it. It's there's no good. It's all depressing and awful.
It's all depressing and awful. It's a horrible story. If people aren't familiar with the story, it's a mom who killed 3 of her kids in a horrible way, tried to kill herself, wasn't successful. She's a paraplegic. She's on trial. She has an insanity defense. She'd been prescribed for her postpartum depression about 12 different medications in a period of like a month that, I mean, I fully believe pushed her into psychosis. Like, we know that SSRIs can increase suicidal ideation and, you know, push people over the edge into things. I don't know. I mean, but I think where I have a limiting principle to that is that, like, I'm also not sure that means she should like get off.
No, she should be electrocuted to death.
I mean, it's a horrible story all around. There's like no winners. It's very unhappy. But I think what's become interesting about this is because it's turned into sort of a gender war thing. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but do you know it's become a whole thing with like the same people who followed the Karen Reed trial?
Yeah,
and,
no,
like,
I know.
believe the
I've
whole
been seeing this.
conspiracy, and the people who, there's a whole bunch of true crime addicts on the internet, largely women, who tend to be sympathetic to the plights of mothers in general.
And SSRIs.
And all of these things. And they have decided that Lindsay Clancy didn't actually do it, that her husband, who, by the way, is also not very sympathetic in all this, he seemed to get over the whole thing and move on and find somebody new extremely quickly. And there's some allegations that maybe he was already hooking up with this person before, which is it's neither here nor there. It's really not an excuse to kill your children either way. So, I mean, but whatever. He hasn't exactly covered himself with glory in the whole thing, but the assertion from the true crime fanatics and conspiracy theorists and people on the internet who follow this stuff, unsurprisingly, this has a large overlap with people who believe that Israel killed Charlie Kirk, things like that. The type of people who go through videos online and are finding all the things that the defense attorneys missed. they've decided that the husband actually killed the kids, and then fed her so many drugs, was crushing up drugs and feeding her drugs to convince her that it pushed her out the window, and then convinced her that she did it after she woke up. So that's the online conspiracy theory, which is nuts. There's zero evidence for any of that. It's an insane, unfounded in reality thing to believe. It was interesting because I saw an interaction with Turtle Boy where people were saying to him online that like, well, people didn't believe the Karen Reed thing when you were reporting on that either, and see, blah, blah, blah. And Turtle Boy, basically, he used the R slur about people who believe this conspiracy theory about Lindsay Clancy because it's completely out of touch with the real universe. But in any case, women have now raised in a GoFundMe for Lindsay Clancy over $700,000 because they're so sympathetic to her that
she strangled the kids with exercise bands.
It's horrible. It's a horrible, awful story. It's a horrible, awful story.
If you read Jess Machado's reporting, some of the people in the courtroom heard the 911 call from the husband.
It's a horrific story. There's no winners in it. It's horrifying. She should probably be locked up, if not in jail, then in a psych ward and forever. And by the way, her doctors that were prescribing her all these medications without a clue probably also should be locked up. It's a huge indictment on the mental health industry. It's a huge indictment on the people saying, oh, go and get help. Because as far as we know, she just had like postpartum depression and anxiety and then went to get the help that everyone says you're supposed to get. And they pushed her over the edge into killing her kids, which there's no excuse for. But I fully believe it wouldn't have happened without that
freaking GoFundMe.
That fact, it's probably not a GoFundMe because I don't think they do people accused of
The
crimes.
verified GoFundMe campaign for the parents has raised more than $830.
Yeah, it's crazy. But now, because everybody on the internet has to be insane, nobody can just take a reasonable position like this is a horrible, tragic thing, and it can't just be the conspiracy theorists who have gone insane. A bunch of like right-wing people have decided that this thing is all BS and postpartum depression is made up and fake. So that's what like Matt Walsh and Joshua Lisek or whoever has decided. They're like, oh, postpartum depression is just made up because women are narcissists who can't believe the world's not about them anymore once they have children. Like, and I guess it's just engagement bait or whatever. But it seems to me that there has to be some middle ground between
that
like women
that has a place in truth.
There has to be some middle ground in between like women are never responsible for anything and she obviously didn't commit murder because I see myself in her and postpartum depression is just completely made up and women, because there is, by the way, a documented thing that happens where sometimes women after having babies absolutely lose their minds.
Yes.
That's like a known phenomenon that happens.
Yes.
And I think to just dismiss it all as like women being narcissists and thinking women can never be held responsible for their own behavior, even murder, is absolutely insane and ridiculous. And by the way, does absolutely nothing to draw women to whatever brand of conservatism we're trying to build here.
Right.
Like, and I get it. I know probably as much as anyone the flaws of women as the fairer sex.
Sure.
And I get it. I do. And I think this stuff with Lindsay Clancy, I think the way women that I know have like posted this stuff online. Like there's a non-zero number of people that you would think are like normal and non-crazy that literally think the husband killed the kids and tried to kill her.
Yeah. No, I can see how they would. I don't think there's anything to it, obviously, but I can see just how through just compassion. And you're right. They're overly sensitive about this. I know women where you're not allowed to bring up, where I'm told don't say that there's no pay gap because my girlfriend is really upset and like really pissed off about this. And just don't say it. So I'm not allowed to say anything, because people feel aggrieved and feel like, they're getting screwed and you're not able to do anything but validate them.
But it's just, It's a horrific situation. What she did was horrifying. But I remember when I first heard about the case a few years ago, my immediate reaction to it was, what the heck drugs did they put her on?
Yeah.
Because like that's absolutely one of the scariest things about the entire mental health industry is people go there for help because everyone tells you. And she worked in she was a nurse, so she worked in the medical field. And so, you know, she went to the people that you're supposed to go to seek out help, because the advice that everyone gives you and tells you is like, oh, if you're struggling and you need help, you have to go to doctors. And like, she went to the doctors and they fed her a bunch of drugs that they don't understand, don't know what they do. She had herself committed to McLean because she was afraid that she was going to hurt herself or someone else. And she told other family members that she was afraid of hurting herself or someone else. She was suicidal. She told them she'd had suicidal thoughts all the time. And like, they just kept feeding her more drugs.
Yeah, well,
like, and those drugs are bad. Like, tapering off them can be hard. She committed herself and they friggin' sent her home.
Yeah.
Like, that's, and just with new drugs to try. Like, that's crazy to me.
The system will kill you. Absolutely. It's disgusting. And it just reminds me of...
And I'm not saying she's not responsible for what she did
sure,
at the end of the day.
But of course. But here's like going back, and I'm going to make it about me because this is my own little voyage here, is that when I had that trouble a few years ago, and when he had that trouble a few years ago, and I went off the deep end, and I suddenly had anxiety and panic attacks suddenly for the first time ever in my life. Remember, it was, I got I guess it was close enough to COVID. I got a real appointment with an RN, what's it called? The kind of nurse, like a
PA or something?
The kind of nurse who can give you stuff.
A prescriber, yeah.
And so and they said I could do this thing remote. And so I had a meeting with her, and this is a real nurse at my primary care's place. This is a real thing. They're like the real thing. These are the people who won't give me blood pressure medications unless I go there and get 1,000 tests. Won't give me any. They didn't try to give me like naltrexone or whatever the thing is that's supposed to make it so you only get buzzed or whatever. A few years ago, that was really in vogue a few years ago before Wegovy took that place. They wouldn't, without jumping through hoops, which is why I get everything now on Amazon. I just want to be left alone. Leave me alone. I don't want to go in there and have you put your hand on me. Yeah. So. But that day, she was like, when she's on the phone, she said, okay, so do you want to try galaxapine, deluxapine, marolapine, demoxapine, zahitsapine, olanzapine, zohinzapine, doanzapine, she ticked him off, all of the things. And because she assumed that, like everybody else, that I'd seen all of the TV ads and that my close circle of friends, I would have had a knowledge of these things, and I'd know which ones I'd want, and she was going to give them to me.
Yeah.
Of course, I knew nothing about any of these things. I didn't know any of them at all. But she's like, here, take all. It was so easy, you know?
And people are like really sensitive about it because a huge number of people take these drugs.
Yeah.
Like a crazy percentage, especially of like millennials and millennial women, even more so. I want to say it's like approaching a third to a half of millennial women.
Yes.
It's a huge number. And so people get offended when you suggest that there can be like really dangerous side effects to these drugs and they can really make you not yourself. And it's like people take it personal when you even like, I'm sure we're going to get feedback on this episode because we're saying this, that when you say that they can increase suicidal or homicidal tendencies, I mean, like,
well, now more than ever, because they're going to say, wait, are you saying I'm going to try to hurt my child? And then, like, these women, that thing that Matt Walsh said, that sentence does hold true.
Well, and here's the thing is that, like, anyone who's going, oh, well, it was understandable what happened to Lindsay Clancy because she had postpartum depression and, like, she was trying to get help and nobody gave her enough help. If you do say that, then you're kind of asking for people to say that you aren't safe to be around your kids if you're saying it's understandable.
Oh, yeah.
But clearly there is a real phenomenon that happens under the influence of these hormones. But I think we really have to go back and examine how we treat that and what we do about it, and not just feed people drugs that we don't really understand how or why they work.
Of course. Can I play a Jake Tapper cut here? This is 5 years since Kabul. I want you to listen to what name is not mentioned and what name is mentioned.
It was 5 years ago this weekend that Kabul and Afghanistan fell to the Taliban, bringing a disastrous end to America's longest war. The horrific scenes that followed still, to this day, shock the conscience. The crowds of desperate Afghans on the tarmac, or packed into planes, trying desperately to escape, or the 13 American service members killed in the Abbey Gate bombing, along with countless Afghan civilians. 5 years later, more than 2 million Afghan girls are currently blocked from attending school by the Taliban, according to UNESCO. It's now legal in Afghanistan for men to beat their wives, as long as they don't break any bones or leave any lasting injuries. Meanwhile, many Afghans who fought with the U.S., risked their lives for the U.S., remain stranded abroad after the Trump administration halted the special immigrant visa program.
You heard this, right?
And many of those who did make it to the United States to this day live in fear that their green cards will be revoked. With that legacy from the war in Afghanistan, you can forgive the American people for wondering why they should trust our leaders when they tell us that our brave service members are engaged.
It's funny, he mentions Trump in this thing because Trump is terrible, and because of ICE. Now, none of these people would be refugees living in this country right now had Biden not effed this up.
Right.
And there was no binding deal that Biden had to do. But he goes right by Biden and says, look at now all the problems from the fallout that happened because of nobody, and look how mean Trump is.
It's been a vital mission. And when today's leaders glibly dismiss questions about their current mission in Iran, what the end game is, what's the plan, whether there are adequate protections for our service members in Jordan or Kuwait, whether President Trump and
So Trump's responsible for Afghanistan, Jordan, Kuwait, Iran.
Secretary Hegseth are covering up the deaths of Iranian civilians from U.S. strikes, or hiding poor conditions for sailors and Marines aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln. They are just the latest in a tradition that we would struggle.
Can you mention Joe Biden at all? Since you started this, then?
To call proud.
This guy's a piece of excrement. Tapper is the worst piece of crap in the world.
It is crazy because it's like they've all just decided to forget the entire Biden presidency happened.
Well, I think he's...
I guess actually you just answered my question.
That
because
it's like, it's too cruel that Joe Biden's a poor old man that lost his mind, and, he tried to save us from Trump, but he really kind of screwed everything up in the end, and it's distasteful to look at how horrible the whole train wreck of Biden is. We're just going to leave him alone.
But you've answered you've answered it, because Tapper can't have Biden be in this story because he wrote a book about not reporting on Biden. A mea culpa book that sold millions and made him even richer.
As far as the Washington media is concerned, the Trump presidency went from 2016 to 2028.
Yes, absolutely. Biden doesn't count because he was lying to us about his health for good reasons. One more CNN thing that it got into my feed somehow, but it's effing incredible. This is from 2021. It says vaccine misinformation. Miami private school makes bogus claims about vaccine while ordering students who get a shot to stay home for 30 days. By the way, I get the feeling the bogus claims made by the Miami school were accurate claims. But here's a CNN reporter hounding this dude who's loading his kid's bike into his van.
Well, I think it's a family decision, and we should respect, everybody's privacy.
It is a family decision, but it makes everyone safer because so many people have gotten the vaccinations. Tens of thousands of people are not dying.
There's a lot of people who get the vaccine and it's dying right now.
Nah, that's not true.
So, no, it is true.
No, it's not true.
Fox News says the truth.
Fox News says
it happened to be true. People got the vaccine and still died.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's true, but
this is a reporter saying, no, it's not true. No, wait, are you reporting anymore? Or is this William F. Buckley, Gore Vidal pitch battle debate?
Definitely not true. It's false.
Now he's laughing at the father.
Problem.
Fox News is the one that you can get,
Now, let me just tell you, sir. The greatest scientists in the world know that this vaccine is saving lives. So my question for you is:
he's not the best scientist in the world.
Yeah, well,
that's just one opinion,
Yeah, you're hearing bad information, sir. But with all due respect, I wish you good health.
Thank you so much. Same to you. Have a great day.
Piece of excrement. There's another one. Oh, can you imagine?
I know.
All right. Should we do the chat or do you have something else?
I think we should, speaking of women being psychos, I think we should briefly touch on Nancy Mace. Have you followed any of this?
I've seen that she's full of tats.
Yeah. She's gotten totally tatted up.
There is just simply nothing, no part of a beautiful woman's anatomy that is more perfect than the natural anatomy. And to put graffiti on it is so stupid, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I think what's interesting about it too is there was, like, from the beginning of this year, a piece on Nancy Mace and how she's sort of been like crashing out, basically. And I mean, she's like twice divorced. She like flips out at people in Congress, like has these rants. And now she's doing this like tattoo displaying thing where she displayed, she went on like TV bare armed and has all these new crazy tattoos. Like, not quite a full sleeve. I wouldn't go there, but like her arms are full of tattoos.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
And basically like then was like, oh, what's this apocalypse over me getting some tattoos? Like, who cares? It just seems like erratic and wild behavior. But this was what the Politico piece on Nancy Mace from back in February said. Mace is a 48-year-old, twice divorced mother of two. She often walks with a gun. Sometimes she shops in a wig. She always sleeps under a 20-pound heavy blanket she thinks isn't heavy enough. She says she does what she does because of an engine she can't control, and she just goes and going to go and go and go. She says she gets the tattoos she gets because of the pain I need to feel.
Okay.
And in the wake of the shocking speech last year in which she, on the floor of the United States House of Representatives, accused her ex-fiancé and three of her business partners and friends of grievous sexual crimes against her and other women in the spiraling subsequent litigation in which alleged abusers are suing Mace and other alleged victims and vice versa, and a judge instituted a gag order for all parties involved, and Mace has had to take to representing herself. She has at times all but asked to get sent to jail. She is, according to scores of ex-staffers and ex-friends, operatives, and colleagues from both parties, in a spectrum of people who know her and have known her for a long time, unstable, unhinged, and unwell.
Yeah, I don't need anything.
Do you recall, by the way, that very early in her career when she was like first elected, there was a graffiti scandal at her house where somebody graffitied her entire house and like called her names in it or whatever?
No.
And a bunch of people at the time thought the handwriting looked a lot like hers.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, psycho.
But, I mean, yeah. I don't
she
know.
skated a little bit because she's borderline hot, but psycho.
Hi, Burn Barrel, Tommy NH.
Hey, Tommy.
Very good to have you back.
You too.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tommy.
Listening to your latest podcast, Tom talking about the motorcycle accident.
Right.
And his post and all the commentary that came in after it. I have to admit, when you first posted it, I did struggle because it is you. You were listening to Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
But there was an accident.
Correct.
So I resisted the urge to make fun of you. As for the other commentary, people were posting about your bad directions. I have to tell you, I have two friends that their whole lives revolve around directions. So God forbid if you try to tell a story about a location that they know, they will interrupt your story 14 times to ask you questions about the directions that are involved in the story. It's insane.
Yeah.
People love to do that.
Yeah, man. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Yeah. And, yeah, like I said, the Whitney Houston song, I will admit that I, at that moment, was not listening to the Whitney Houston song, but I was there when it came on. If you're familiar with that part of New Hampshire, you're just station surfing because these FM stations are not strong stations, so you get whatever you can. And Whitney Houston is listenable to me. So I was there in the 80s. Whitney Houston was everywhere. That's not really a thing. I don't like. If it was Culture Club,
she's no Ella Langley.
She's better than Ella Langley. Whitney Houston.
The Ella fellas are gonna come for you.
Whitney Houston's a better singer. She was a better singer than Ella Langley. I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to get to. I can't get to exit 6. I'm sorry, I'm late. There's a fat guy in front of me with a dog in the front seat. What? Exit 4? Exit 6A? What exit am I supposed to take? What? What exit is this? Who? Why is there a dog in the front seat? It's in neutral? Neutral. Put it in neutral, sir.
The dog was in the front seat because the two teenagers were in the back seat, and the dog
I wasn't there.
And the dog is getting old. It's hard for her to jump up to the back seat, so the front seat was easier, supposedly.
Poor Pepper.
How dare you?
Do you remember one time when we had the car full and she was in the back with the luggage and she cried the whole trip?
Did she really? It's cruel of you, Alice.
She was like, she couldn't believe. She thought it must have been some kind of strange oversight that she'd been put in the back.
Well,
like, guys, I'm still back here. You forgot.
When I first got Pepper, she was always in the passenger seat with me, and she learned how to.
She can open the windows.
Yes, thank you, Alice.
I was trying to help you because you seemed.
She
to
learned
be
how to open the
Pepper.
windows, so she knew how to do that, and then she'd stick her big cow head outside, and so. But then we had other things happening, so she thought that she was owed the front seat. So, but she got the front seat the other day, and the window was open, and you would have seen her cow head outside of the window if you were on near exit 68.
Mile marker 68.
For those of you who were unable to watch the Burn Barrel podcast from Sunday, I want you to know that.
Why? What happened? Oh, I know the video is hanging up here. Today I was on the Main Wire video, and I was totally hanging up. Is the live podcast just sucking?
Tom was using a handheld microphone.
Yeah.
And at one point, when Alice was talking, he raised it to his lips like it was a glass. And then he realized he was still holding the mresmicrophone, and then reached over for his red Solo cup filled with some sort of alcoholic beverage, I believe.
Cheswick, it's funny you say that. I saw that you wrote that in the chat, and that was hilarious. This is the same microphone, same mics we use in the podcast, but I can't clip on the holder anywhere. But I'll check that out. That is interesting. To think that I was trying to
drink alcohol from your microphone.
So, just to get the visual, Tom tried to drink the microphone he had in his hand.
Try to get me tell me when that was in the video, because I would like to see that.
Wow. Shots fired by Alice. Her war on the Merrimack Valley has begun.
Yep.
We've all come to enjoy and love Tom's hyperbole, but her comment about the kid on the bike who...
Wow, that's true. Oh, my God. You were like typical Merrimack Valley trash.
Is it Haverhill?
Oh, my goodness.
Her comment about the kid on the bike who has probably been shot since, just because he lives in Haverhill. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about that.
I know.
Jeez.
I know. Well, she vicariously now goes to Fauntleroy Academy, so she outclasses us in her own mind. Jay, sorry about that.
No comment.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Charlie.
You guys were talking about somebody cutting in front of a funeral procession the other day.
Yeah, in Haverhill.
I have to tell you that when I had a bunch of guys working for me, I got a very nasty phone call one day saying that you cut me off. I can't believe you just cut through a funeral procession. And of course, I put my head in my hands and thought to myself, who would do this? I told the person very nicely that I was sorry. I would talk to the person who did it. And of all the guys I had working for me, amazingly enough, I got it right the first time. And his excuse was, the light turned green. Yeah. Apparently at 19 years old, you didn't know that you were supposed to stop for a funeral procession. Thanks.
Well, maybe some people don't know, but
I don't think anybody tells kids anything anymore.
I agree with that. I
don't think they know anything.
The depravity and the dipshittery of people in Congress will never cease to amaze me.
Correct.
Example, your quotes from Ro Khanna last night.
What a bitch.
I mean, this is straight out of the socialism, communism playbook. They did it in Latin America, where they forced private business owners to stay open even though the businesses were failing. They forced them to stay open with the threat of arrest and possibly death in order to pay wages, benefits to the workers. which eventually came out of the business owner's own pockets, and they were left with nothing no matter
and then
what.
he was machine gunned.
This is just a new version of it.
Yep.
And I mean, Tom, for context, it'd be the same as like when you were out making out and giving hand dookies to Paul. That was gay.
Incorrect.
But nowadays, claiming that because you went on a date with a trainee, it's still gay.
Well, there's no parallel there whatsoever. But yeah, the whole trying socialism thing is so freaking tired. It is ridiculous. Splash says, I work with a guy who declared himself a feminist and is 100% certain Patrick Clancy did it.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it has to be this like gender war thing. She did something really horrible.
Yeah. He said,
I don't understand why, like, I can't feel bad for her that the medical system treated her the way she did, and also think that what she did was horrific and inexcusable, and also not invent made up conspiracy theories that her husband did it.
She says, he says, I have to bite my tongue on it because one of my wife's best friends is Patrick's close cousin. Yeah. I have a friend who's related to the cop who died in the Karen Reed trial. Splash reminds us it's nurse practitioner. Yeah, whoever it was. They certainly were offering me a lot. I should have resold the stuff. I still have some of the stuff because I took about 6 of them.
You know?
Cheswick says, this has happened before. Remember in Texas, that woman drowned her 5 kids?
Andrea Yates, yeah. A lot of people have...
Or it could have been Susan Smith. That was another one.
Yeah, I think Andrea Yates is the one people have been referencing a lot. Because that's another one where it was very, very clear that she was severely out of her mind when she did. I mean, Lindsay Clancy was hearing voices and stuff like that. Like she was having auditory hallucinations that were telling her to kill her children.
There's good crazy, which is a 24-year-old teacher sleeping with a young student.
No.
And there's bad, which is killing people. Cheswick says this happened before. Okay. Cheswick says, I'm one of 8. I'm surprised my mother didn't take us out. Yeah. Alice says, I don't think if she had a stun gun, she would have used that already. Certainly, I'd be dead. Cheswick says, I like a good tattoo. Doesn't bother me. I would never get together with somebody with a tattoo. Just absolutely. Of course, nobody can see Alice right now, or else she'd be able to tell what she was saying.
I don't think that my like one youthful tattoo is necessarily...
Your one youthful tattoo,
I don't think that it's necessarily proof that tattoos aren't something that's gotten by crazy chicks.
See, I've seen you wear tank tops. I've never seen that tattoo. And
why don't we leave that alone? Okay, thank you everybody for listening. Appreciate all of you. And thanks for letting us know what Tom was doing on the video. I didn't see him try and drink from his microphone, but I don't pay a lot of attention to what he's doing during the podcast. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Are we ever going to do a food show? You're probably not going to want to do one today. Okay.
C'est la vie.